Hey, what's up guys? Ethan from the Happy Pill Project. Quick reminder before we get started. If you want to support this channel and you like what we do, please hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure that you share this useful video with at least 200 to 300 people. If you have any questions, comments, want to say hello, or technique requests, drop us a note in the comment section. Thanks for your support, guys.
We'll do a simple warm-up, really simple, okay? Let's go. We'll just do arm drags. Super simple, guys. So you just get a little warm-up. I won't keep it going long. And if you want to do some air of the variation, it's the only time I'll say, hey, do it. I have no problem with it. I'd like to get the class started quickly, so let's just talk about this really quickly, right? All I'm going to do is look to be top player on the hands, right? I'm looking to push his hands down to his groin area. Can we back this up like this? Yeah. So I've explained this before. I just don't want to be random with my feet sitting randomly like this. So we're going to say that we caught these feet with insteps at the inner portion of his thighs. So my first reaction, because I do want to have that, okay? So that can't just be random down there, because as I'm reaching for his hands, he's going to flare and now he's going to pass you. So there's got to be some connection, right? I would love it to be the leg that flares, right? So that can be with me gripping with both of my feet on that kneecap, because if he does pick that leg up, I catch a de la Riva on it, right? So that does benefit me, but it could also be double insteps. So let's just keep it at double insteps for now, okay? So there's some form of control or feeling in case he pivots and flares on me. Okay, because I'm looking to control this hand, or whatever hand that you like to drag. Most people have a dominant side that they prefer dragging. So I'm going to try my best to keep pushing his hands down to his groin area. Because if I can do that, then I alter the mechanics of the pull. So the lat muscle isn't what's going to activate, right? So I have insteps. I'm pushing his hands down. I got this hand up just in case I lose this. Because if I lose this and I'm going here and he flares, before I want to be able to have the security to bail out really quickly on this. Okay, so I'm pushing the hands down. The moment I get an opportunity that I shoot my hand through that triangle, I do. I go reaching for the elbow? I do not. I prefer not to. I prefer to hit this as high up as possible also, if I can. Because there's a reason I bring it up, is that if I shoot this at this point, and he's like really, he's a good player, he's not going to go tough on it. He's not going to tense the muscles up, and he's going to go limp. And as I pull this elongates, and now I'm in this weird position with it, like I'm sitting at this 45 with no real movement on my. So just be careful. I would prefer to shoot it long high so that the shoulder line doesn't lie to me behind the deltoid. So as I'm pulling, I'm dragging, I'm going to ask you, you can cup the back of the lat muscle. You're not, this isn't gi, so you're not going to have the opportunity to reach down here. The moment I grab the lat muscle, you can Y wedge first. I've explained that what that is right now. I'm not going to go there. We're going to say that we got some form of a barrier behind the tricep. I'm reaching behind the lat. I am not picking this man up right now. We're going to pretend that he's a lot bigger than me and a lot heavier, and I need a lot of strength to start dumping this man like this. So my first reaction is to get his head next to mine, so most of his body weight is above me. So as I pull up, I lay down. This is where we should be before we dump over. So as we're dumping over, I'll give you either one. For IBJJ, I want you to go into the reversal. So we would lift one leg, turn them over, come up, and now we're here on top, either going into side control or coming to the back. You can go either way, right? It looks fancier to spin him up in the air, but I don't get the reversal, and then on the drop, he gets an opportunity to escape. So looks great. You can drill it. Same position. I'm here. I don't dump this man over. We've already explained why. He's laid back too far. Mechanically, it's so inefficient. So I want to pull this gentleman up. So I slide myself, and he's right here. So I lift one leg up. Second leg drops, right here, drops, and I shrimp out. The moment I make my turn, I'm right underneath him. I get my second hook in, and now I'm looking for my wrist ride to get under his neck. Let's partner up, guys. We won't do this long. It's just a warm-up. Yeah, and then Synth was asking about the head and arm choke on this. You can do it. The other one that you did. You know the other one that you did?
And then just lace.
Yeah. Yeah. You're here. And then he was here. Oh, you did the other one where you come underneath here. Yeah. Yeah, you pummeled back underneath on it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one that you did before. Yeah, that's a hard choke. That's a really, really hard choke on that angle. Just because like they're gonna start pulling their shoulders down. You could do it, but it's gonna be a size and strength factor if you wanna do it. Cynthia also asked this great question. Let's go back a second on the drag. When they first land, right, on the drag, and she asked, like, where do you go right away with your hand positions? Like, does this go to seat belt? Like, where does this go right away? Your first reaction is to read, do they have an escape? And do I have wedges to alter their escapes? That can be many. That can be a body lock, that you're here on a body lock, but if this body lock is here, I better have this hook under here, because I have to change the dynamic. Remember what they've been taught from the very beginning is to get their back to the mat and change the angle of the hip. So the body's gonna rotate like this. So something has to be under here to stop the rotation. That could also be with this lock. Put this guy under here and this guy under here. And that could be with this lock. That stops the rotation too. Okay, that could also be this. Let me have this. Where this curls underneath and makes a wedge on that glute. That could be that. Right? That could also be you shallow trying to figure out your hooks and then taking this hand and making a Y wedge under here. Okay? That can also be this. That can also be you taking this hand and grabbing behind the deltoid till you figure out your grips down here. But that's your first defense. That's the first read. You do not go. I know in the beginning you're thinking choke, choke, choke. High-level player's not even thinking that. He's like, you don't have anything. You want to put your hand under here? Go ahead. He's not even worried about it, right? So he's thinking, where is his because if he can adjust just a little bit, if he can adjust 4 inches, just turn your hip a little bit. Okay, stay right there. And he just sucks this down just a little bit. Just pull your shoulder down. No, let me in there for a second. Right? You're like this with the person, right? And we just landed. And Cynthia's like this. If I can just pull this shoulder down just like, there's no choke now, right? All because I dropped this 2 inches of clavicle here and you can't get to it. No matter what you do, you can squeeze me as hard. There's no way that you're gonna crush my collarbone into my neckline. So now you can maybe mount me or something. You're not choking me out. And now when you go to mount me, you're exposing this leg. Then I'm gonna start pushing out. And now I worry about coming out. So if we backtrack what he was thinking, then I gotta think the opposite. So I gotta plan ahead. So that's why you don't go there. Your first read is, can he escape on me? Because I'll get, and you see it, right? Gordon Ryan's great. How patient is he? Like he gets there and he just takes his time, like just patiently working. He doesn't go for it right away. He understands the level of control before. I hope that made sense to everybody. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. The grip behind the tricep, Y wedge here. I can I can instep catch. Go in there one more time so that people can understand this, right? I just showed, there's 3 ways on the leg lines on the bottom, right? So they land like this, right? If you feel them turning, you can always make a Y wedge behind this tricep and push them out so that you can alter this down here. Now she has 2. She has a Y wedge behind the tricep and she's controlling this quadrant of the glute so it it stops the turn. And now she can figure out what she does with this arm. Can she get it under the neck? Because now she got it under the neck. Now she can finish that up there. Okay, and that can go different ways. I can also do it from here. That she's on this grip really hard and then she's trying to figure, yes, there you go on that one. But she's figuring out this adjustment. If you just have your hooks randomly like this, you don't own anything. You don't control anything on the lower half. They're gonna turn on you, okay? So you have to have some form of control. If you're not capable of body locking, that's why this hook comes underneath, right? Maybe it comes behind the calf or the hamstring so that I continuously push them out this way, okay? Jim had a great question too on a drag. Jimmy, what was your, right? Oh, yeah. I had you have to pair this correctly. I know somebody else asked this question too. If you're gonna sit like this, you're not dragging this way, right? Because where are my leg setups on this? Like this doesn't play mechanically correctly. Like I'm gonna go dragging here, and I understand you think you're coming up, but then I'm not gonna be ready for a De La Riva if he flares. He's gonna pass me. So if I'm gonna drag that way, my sit position is like this. because I want to be able to, in case he flares, that I hook that leg, right? Because now I'm going to have a dead limb here. So I was sitting like this before, right? So that I'm set to either go here, or if he flares, poof, I'm on that De La Riva, and now I'm sucking this thing in to go all different directions on. So your sit position has to marry what you're thinking. And I know some people think they're going to drag both ways, and you definitely can. But 99.99, it's almost the same thing. I can teach you how to write with your left hand, but you're always going to have a dominant side. It just is what it is. You're not going to learn how to throw a football with your left if you've been righty your whole life. You can throw it, but it's not going to be the same way. And 99% of people have the same dominant position. So understand your dominant and how it links from the top to the bottom. But they have to marry together. Otherwise, you're going to have an inefficiency. What time is it? We got about 5 minutes. You could do the drill if you want. I just explained a couple of things. You want to practice them, you can. But they're critical for you to understand, because even a street fight, like you're behind the guy, man, I got to stay dominant. I got to crack him to the back of the skull. I got all kinds of things. I know those. Cynthia always smiles when I talk about things like that. She hides it under the mask. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go 5 minutes and we'll start the day. Let's do it.